Hi everyone, welcome back to the second part of the time value of money using the HP 10B2 calculator tutorial. In this tutorial, I'm going to be covering how to do three different kinds of problems. One is periodic compounding. Second is how we calculate the NPV of an uneven set of cash flows. This uses the CFJ button. And then how to calculate an amortization schedule using the calculator rather than Excel. So let's just get to it. Periodic compounding. I always say that the first thing that you want to do is lay out all the numbers in the calculation. So we're investing 10,000, so that PV is minus 10,000. I per year is semi-annual, means compounding twice per year. So the rate is actually going to be 8 divided by 2. So the interest per year is 4. And then the number of periods is going to be 6 times 2. So there's actually 12 periods because over 6 years we're compounding 2 times per year. And so this is what Excel got. Let's see if we get the same answer with the calculator. So first thing, always clear the memory. 10,000. Change the sign. Store that in PV. 4 is I per year. 12 is the N. And we're solving for the future value. And we got the same number, $16,010.32. Okay, that's the first one. Now let's do multiple cash flows. You are evaluating an investment that provides these cash flows over the next 5 years. Discount rate is 7%. What's the PV of these cash flows? So this uses the CFJ. We're going to use the CFJ button, which is here. And then we're going to use this NPV, which is here. So it's going to be this shift and then this PRC button. We're calculating the net present value. Okay, so first thing we want to do, lay out the timeline of the cash flows. Period 0 is a 0 cash flow. 2,000 in period 1, 3,500 in period 2, 1,500 in period 3, 4,000 in period 4, 5,000 in period 5. And you could break these down and you could do, for example, calculate each one individually and sum them like this, discount each one back, or you can just use this simpler method, which I'll show you in a second. So we've got the timeline of the cash flows, and then we're going to have interest per year is 7. So let's do this in the calculator. Always clear the memory first. 7 is I per year. Then we put the first cash flow period is 0. And then we press the CF1. So that stores the 0 into cash flow subscript period 0. 2,000, then press this. So that got stored, 2,000 got stored in period 1. 3,500 got stored in period 2. You saw the 2 got flashed out. 1,500, press this. Stored in period 3, 4,000 stored in period 4, 6,000 stored in period 5. Then all we need to do is hit Shift and then press this NPV button. And that gives us this answer. PV is going to be this amount. We can test this in Excel. Well, another way to do it, we could test it manually. divided by 1 plus 0.07, or this divided by 100. And we take the sum of this, you see it's, well, you can't see it here, but you see it's the same number. So that worked. Let's now go to an amortization problem. Again, clear the memory. So in amortization problems, we're going to have to build these amortization schedules. So here's the fact pattern. We're buying a house for $400,000. We're going to make a 20% down payment. So this is the price of the house. This is not the amount of the mortgage, since some of this is equity that we're putting into the house. 30-year fixed rate mortgage, very standard. Interest rate 5%. Okay. So what is the loan balance? Loan balance is going to be 400,000 times 0.8. Because we're putting in 20% as equity, and we're borrowing the remaining 80%. Okay. I per year, since we're actually doing monthly calculating, this needs to be divided by 12. So I per year is actually going to be this 4.16. N, it's 30 years, 12 months per year. So N is going to be 30 times 12, which is going to be 360. And then we need to calculate the PMT. So the way I would do this in Excel is this: rate, number of periods, PV. Let's actually represent this as a negative. Okay. So actually this is wrong. PMT rate is this, number of periods is this, PV is this, future value is 0. Oh. For Excel, we need to do this divided by 100. Okay. So that's correct. Okay, so let's do this in the calculator. Clear the memory first. So 32,000 is the present value. Flip the sign. Store that in PV. Interest per year is going to be 5 divided by 12. Store that in interest per year. Okay, got the same number, 4167. 360 is N. Okay. And then we can calculate the PMT. It's the same number, this 1717.83. Excel and the calculator gave us the same number. Now we can actually find this entire amortization schedule. So the way that we do this, so we entered in all the values into the calculator first. Then we can figure out, okay, in period 5, what's the amortization stuff? So the way that we do that is we put in 5, input, shift, and then we press this amortization button. So now it's showing us period 5.5 of amortization, and then we can just hit the equal sign to cycle through. So the principal payment is 390. 0.94 in period 5. The interest payment is $13.26. The loan balance will be $318,061. So we can look this up for any period. So let's say we want to find out what the numbers are in period 1. So we go to 1, input, shift, access the amortization schedule. So now you see we're in period 1-1. Hit enter. The principal payment in period 1 is $384. It equals to see that the interest payment is 1333.33. And you can see the sum of these is going to be our, again, it's probably because of rounding that it's like slightly off, but it's basically going to be the right answer. And then we can calculate what's the balance at the end of period 0. 319,615. So you can calculate this amortization schedule in Excel, or you can have the calculator calculate it by putting in all these numbers, and then you just go to the period you want, 6 input, then access the amortization menu, and you see we're in period 6-6, and then you can just cycle through just by pressing the equal sign. And that's it. So thank you all for watching, and I'll see you next time.